Welcome to the Expired Podcast by Macy Bookout and Natalie Gard. This case is huge. It's one of Tennessee's biggest kills in over 20 years.
And then we do, that's the production room. Mm-hmm. That's camera A, this is camera B. So camera A, B, audio, head slate.
Did you learn that at Cat State?
I did. And MTV.
Of course.
Because with MTV you have like 4 cameras and like 18 microphones.
Yes.
So it makes it easier for editing.
Well, I'm the one editing. I don't know how it would make it easier. But I guess with like the audio waves and whatnot, like
you
can line them up.
To time it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sit and guess.
Yeah. Cute.
Blankies.
I love that.
We should do a TikTok. It's like, you know that one where you do it with your dogs? Where you just like hold the dog up
yeah.
and then drop it and
yeah.
no one's there.
Yeah. And they freak out.
Mm-hmm.
So cute. Okay. How's life?
Busy.
Yeah. It's busy season for me too.
Filming and like the podcast is a escape,
yeah.
You know?
Even that's work.
Yeah, but it's like fun work.
Yeah.
And interesting work. But I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I am filming and my producer knows I'm recording, so I don't know why everyone's still trying to text me. But we're leaving to go to Vegas on Thursday for that wrestling tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, filming for the 3 days leading up to it and all the other usual work, plus having to like pack and shit. Oh my gosh.
And then keep up with it.
And it's like a wrestling tournament when we're already in like full-fledged baseball, softball season. So
I'm so glad I'm not a parent. Like, thank you, Jesus, for birth control. Because I've been taking care of my nephews, you know, and having 3 kids by yourself, I don't know how you freaking do it. Like,
it's crazy.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I found myself, like, sweating yesterday. Like,
for no reason.
Why am I sweating? Why am I so hot? I mean, you just move around so much.
You do. Like, you never get comfortable and sit down.
No.
Like, number one, because you immediately do not want to get up and you will fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
But also because as soon as you do get comfortable,
the baby cries.
Something.
Somebody needs something.
Yes.
Can you open this? Can we go outside? Like,
yes.
Can we go to Walmart? That was the question last night. I vetoed it. I never say no, but I did veto it last night because I was just exhausted.
I need to give you some of our like play money because I'll just like go find random things, you know, like a roll of toilet paper or, you know, a pack of Ritz crackers or just something, and then like set up a store and play store.
Cute.
And I know people hate Play-Doh. I love
it. Keeps them entertained.
I love playing Play-Doh with them, or like sidewalk chalk or bubbles.
I should do that. I have some chalk.
Pop shelf.
Okay, Pop Shelf.
Yeah.
They need to sponsor this show. This is the second free advertisement. I love Pop Shelf.
Yes.
I did, what was I going to say? That train of thought.
That's what it's like having children.
Yeah. They use all your brain.
Yeah, I guess you have to keep them alive.
I totally forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say?
Something about chalk or Play-Doh or bubbles. Playing store.
Oh, okay. This is a hot tip. You can go to this website. I did this today for the boys because I figured if I'm going to hang out with them, might as well find something free.
Mm-hmm.
You can sign up your kid spring through summer to go bowl one game a week or one game a day for free.
Yeah.
It's at all 3 of our local bowling alleys. So that would be so cool for like moms this summer or like nannies that are going to be taking care of kids.
Yep. And it's
so
free.
Cool.
It's like a whole summer program.
Yeah. I just signed them up.
And if you're the one like just chaperoning and you're not bowling, you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Anything. Like it's
like I would be
program.
Too busy to play. Taken care
of. There's also like I know some people prefer like reading books or like doing stuff on with the kids like on iPads or whatever. But the Scholastic, like for the state of Tennessee, Dolly Parton has a program. If you sign up, you get like your kid gets a free book in the mail, like literally every month of their life until they age out, like 18.
Yeah, it's like 5 to 18 pretty much. When I was a preschool teacher, each teacher was required to sign up for it.
Yeah,
the books are good.
So since I have 3 kids, I signed them all up, but they all, for the most part, get the same books. No any repeats. I just donate to the school or whatever.
That's
but
so cool.
It's awesome.
Maybe I should sign them up for that too.
I would.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Hot tip.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Because this case is crazy. I mean, and it's crazy because there's like so much information, but yet not enough information.
There's a lot of information, but there's no information that makes me feel like I know what led up to this or what caused this, or not that I would understand it then, but I would at least know there is a reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find anything on why, how, what, like how this came to actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's frustrating for me.
Super frustrating.
It's very gruesome.
And it's even worse because this is the biggest
mass killing
in Tennessee.
Yeah, in the state's history.
Right. Like, it's insane. 8 people died at different times in different places.
And one of them was injured. And then there was another victim from a previous thing.
Mm-hmm. And another victim after the big one.
Yeah.
It's just a lot to go over with not a lot of, like, getting into who these people are, you know?
Yeah, I understand the privacy about it, but still in today's world, we could not find, I wish we could tell more about the victims and, like, share, you know, who they were, what they were about, like we don't even really know their personalities at all. Yeah. So I feel like both of us struggle with not being able to, like, pay our respects to the victims, especially because, you know, we're telling their names and their ages and what happened to them. I don't know.
But that doesn't make you see a person, you know? When someone said on the radio this morning, it was Kelly Raspberry on the Kid Craig Morning Show, she said they didn't know, they just knew a number. They didn't know their names and ages. They didn't have pictures. And then all this news was coming out, and she's like, it just makes it more and more real and more respectful, you know?
Yeah. Because I feel like I say it all the time, but they're not what happened to them. You know, there was a whole life that was lived and on a daily basis of a person with a personality, with, you know, hobbies and interests.
Friends and family, all the things.
And so to not have information, at least a little bit of, even if it's just like personality traits or characteristics, it's hard to really, like, make it real to listeners that these are people, like, that this happened to, but that's not who they are.
Right. And if you're watching on YouTube, we'll definitely put up pictures, which I think that's kind of why I like to learn about true crime and crimes like this on YouTube. So YouTube, wherever you download podcasts.
The other thing I was going to say too is, like, there maybe no one knows because of who the victims were, but, like, there's not a lot of information about the murderer,
right?
Either,
I wonder,
except for what recently had gone on, and then the trial,
and just, like, police information. That's pretty much it. But I wonder if that is because this is an ongoing case and it just happened in 2019. Like, they go to trial January of 2024, I believe. So maybe that's the reason. And that
Maybe.
can put your mind to rest a little bit. But
I think it's because the victims in this case were the ones with the information.
probably. Yeah.
So we'll get into it. Oh, here we go again.
We always like dance around the
Beginning,
Yeah,
the
we
getting
do.
into it
We
part. Oh.
Okay, so this is Sumner County, 2019, April. The killer is Michael Cummins. He is 25 years old. To paint a little bit of a picture, he has been charged with assault. He had been charged with theft,
Arson,
drugs,
attempted arson, I guess.
attempted murder. I mean, ag assault.
Yeah.
He was actually on probation at the time for arson of a neighbor, and when the neighbor tried to put the fire out, Cummins came at her.
Yeah, and attacked her. She went on to say that she was terrified of him. That
Mhm.
this was not like the first and only thing,
Right.
instance that had happened, or incident that had happened. Like, he, for the most part, on a regular basis, like, terrorized her.
Mhm.
And when he was arrested for this, he told the officers, when I get out, I will finish the job. Like, I'm going straight back there to burn the house down. Like, I'm gonna finish what I started, basically.
And he only got 16 months. Plus 10 years probation, but what is that? Like,
Well, I think he was originally charged, or was sentenced
Charged
to like
for more.
10 years or something. But when he took the plea deal, they counted time served.
okay.
Then they added like 13 months or something to it, and then 10 years of probation following.
Mhm. That's a lot of second chances for
For
second,
the
third, fourth.
level of crime
Yeah.
and violence
Mhm.
that, but, you know.
That's not what we're here to talk about.
Right. So,
He's
anyways, he was actually, they had a warrant for his arrest because he had missed
a probation
meeting. So, not only was he on probation, but he had an active warrant because he had not fulfilled his obligations so far.
Well, I think that part of it is the day before this was supposed to happen, the Friday before it was supposed to happen, his probation officer went to a judge and asked for them to sign off the warrant for his arrest, and the judge couldn't meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was about to have that warrant, and I wonder if the probation officer, the judge, are feeling guilty about that because it was the day before.
I can only imagine that they do.
I'm
And-
sure they do.
Unfortunately, I don't think they should feel guilty.
They shouldn't, because
Um,
judges deserve off time. We don't know their circumstances, like whatever.
Right. Everyone was trying to do their job to the best of their ability, but even
through the
if you're a
cracks.
judge, even if you're a probation officer, even if you're this, like, you're still human and you deserve and need time away from your job, so that you can show up and do your job.
Better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope that I'm sure that they have felt guilty and might still feel guilty. But I don't think that anyone could have stopped this from happening
Yeah.
with the little that I know.
Yeah. He also, with that probation, like the warrant that the probation officer wanted to have a judge sign, he never showed up for his mental health evaluation, which was ordered after the arson event.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another reason that they wanted to
Him
get
to
him back.
come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through the mass murder. It's gonna be a little bit out of order. We're gonna go through the big part of the crime, then the crime that happened after, and the crime that happened before, which wouldn't have been noted if he didn't do the first crime.
Right. The only way they really figured out that he in fact did do this other thing was because of what transpired after the main, like the mass situation. So I do want to note too that family members after this had happened, there was history of Michael Cummins, expressing vocally, and I'm sure with behavior that he wanted, like he constantly talked about hurting people, hurting himself, killing people, killing himself. Mm-hmm. And I think because that was kind of normal for him, but nothing ever transpired from it, that most people around him or that knew him never thought that this would actually happen, that he would actually go through with this.
They thought that he was just blowing smoke.
Yes. And I think they also thought his family meant enough to him that like he would never do something like that.
Yeah. The only thing, and it's literally the only thing I found about him, was a news article that said that there were concerns about him and his sister growing up. Mm-hmm. Just as a little bit of background. Multiple cases of lice, infestation. The home didn't have electricity or running water. There were occasions that there was never a front door. It was just wood paneling that they would nail up. There were allegations that the dad was a heavy drinker and even gave him and his sister beer, and allegations of methamphetamines being manufactured in the home, although that was never found or never investigated. So we don't know if it's true, but I did read that in an article. So I'm assuming
this was probably like reports from like CPS or something?
Yeah, officials.
And his sister, where is she in all of this? Okay.
Hopefully she got out of Sumner County, Tennessee.
Yeah, possibly.
We should look that up. Maybe we'll add that to the next episode.
Yeah.
Season 2 is here.
It is season 2.
Okay.
Can you believe it though?
I know, I'm really happy.
Oh my gosh.
And thank you all for listening.
Yes.
Like, oh my word.
Well, like the growing pains are real and we know it, but the fact that we're still like continuously growing and you guys have stuck with us through the growing pains is awesome. Yeah, it's really cool to have that support. It makes me want to keep doing a better job.
Yeah. And keep taking the criticism and taking it on the chin.
Yes.
But learning from it.
Yes.
Learning is growth. So,
thank you guys.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Michael Cummins is 25 on April 27th, 2019. Do you want to start with how this became discovered?
Yeah, so basically one of the victims, who I presume to be her granddaughter, because she refers to her as Nanny. Mm-hmm. Could be a niece or great niece or something, but basically her and some of the other family members were trying to get in touch with who she called Nanny, who is Mary Sue Wholesale. She is Michael Cummins' uncle's mom, so like a great aunt, right?
Oh yeah.
No,
I figured
grandmother.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we didn't find much on Michael's mom.
Well, if it's his uncle's mom, then it's got to be his mom or his dad's mom too. So yeah, his grandmother.
Okay, so then this girl must be related to him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was his
cousin.
Family.
Yeah,
cousin, great aunt, something like that.
Yeah, so she says she was trying to get a hold of Nanny and couldn't, and so her and a few of the other family members went to the house to basically just check and see if they were there.
Very rural area, 1177, I wrote it down, 1177 Charles Brown Road in Sumner County.
Yeah, which is like an hour outside of Nashville. I think it was Westmoreland, Tennessee is like the city name or whatever. So they show up they're trying to get into the trailer. It's like a double wide trailer, which, you know, is basically just one story, but double wide is like obviously just wider.
There are 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bathrooms.
Probably 2.
Probably 2.
Yeah. And then like a kitchen area and a living area.
Yeah, that's like combined.
So they try to get through the door and they get through it, but there was something blocking the door. That it was like a bed or like a mattress or something that was keeping the door from opening, which is also interesting because I wonder if he left it on the back door. Normally there's a back door too.
Yeah.
I know this because I lived in a trailer for a long time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love modular homes.
They're fantastic.
They're so great.
They are kind of sketchy in a storm though.
Oh, I bet you feel like you're going to fly away.
Yes. Okay, so they try to get in. There's something blocking it, like a bed or a mattress. They do end up getting in, and they see a couple of the victims. They call police, obviously. And then after police have found the victims, they find who was said girl's mom. And she says, like, she could not even tell that it was her, like, at all. Mm-hmm. So she happened to be the victim that survived the attack. Mm-hmm.
That's someone who they went to go look for.
Yes, she was 79 at the time. So
that's insane.
Yeah. So this is how it was discovered.
Yeah. 7 bodies were found. 6 of them had been expired when police got there. And Grandma Mary Sue was airlifted to a hospital.
She did survive.
She did survive. Thank you, Jesus.
She actually became the key, like the star witness. But I think they actually tried to delay trial for her memory to come back because she was the only person that could actually like place him there. Mm-hmm. Crazy. She did die in 2022. Mm-hmm. I am only assuming from natural things or just like normal health. I say normal, but like just things that people, because she would have been she was 82 when she died, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she did die in 2022, but she survived this attack. Mm-hmm.
So if you watch the trial, like the pre-trial before they go before a grand jury, there were 3 star witnesses: the police officer, the head investigator, and then like a crime scene analyst. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she gave the most clear picture of
details,
what happened, because
like you could actually like picture it in your head.
Yeah, she's really great. So when everyone arrived on the scene, they found what they found. Several cats and dogs were there, so they called animal control to come pick them up. It's like a trailer with like a makeshift like wooden porch.
Yeah, typically for trailers because they sit up like on cinder blocks. There's usually like just a few steps, anywhere from 3 to 5 steps that lead you to the doors, the entrances or exits.
Right. And the investigators found blood on the porch. Mm-hmm. When they get in, it's like a mobile home. So there's a hallway to the left, a hallway to the right. On the hallway to the left, there were 2 victims in the bedroom. They only found one at first because one was covered by a comforter and the other was upside down under a recliner, mm-hmm. which is weird. Mm-hmm. And it turns out to be David Cummins and Claire Cummins, 51 and 44. And they are Michael Cummins' mom and dad.
Yeah. I do find it very interesting that every victim was covered with furniture or like dressings, like a blanket or a curtain or a chair or a sofa. Like,
I feel like this is from SVU. I wonder, because all the crime shows I watch, when the murderer covers the people, don't they, like, isn't that a sign of, like, remorse or feeling bad or, like wanting
they can't
to
see
come,
what they
like,
did.
they can't come to terms with that they did that?
Yeah, but I don't know. In this case, like, part of me is wondering, like, the way that once we get through the whole, like, crime scene, like, the way that I'm perceiving it is like a rampage.
Yeah.
Like, almost like a ransack, or like, I don't think that, I think that was an afterthought.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the attacks happened, things happened, I'm sure, because there were so many people, and it is a mobile home. Like, you can hear the trailer had to be moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really. It had to be pure chaos. So it's almost like after the adrenaline and after the, who knows, maybe drugs, or like after that all happened, he was like, oh crap, this is my family. And then proceeded to, like, cover them with whatever they could.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or, I don't hate that I'm saying this, because he's obviously an evil piece of shit. Or he was just like, I don't think he was smart enough to think, like, let me make it look like something else.
Yeah.
Like, let me make it look like someone came to rob them or something. I don't think he's that smart.
I don't think so either. I think he thought, I'll just cover it up and it'll go away somehow.
Yeah.
There'll be a fire, or he'll whatever.
Shocked he didn't try.
I know. Why didn't
actually, with given his history.
Yeah, seriously. So 2 victims were found in a bedroom on the left side of the home. On the right side of the home is like the kitchen area, living room area, a couple of couches, a love seat, like that area. There were 2 more victims found there, which would be Martha Knuckles, 64.
Marsha.
Yeah,
Marsha.
Is that how you say her last name?
Knuckles. Yeah.
64. And Martha's granddaughter, Sapphire, was underneath the love seat, so all you could see was her feet. Mm-hmm. You go down the hall even further.
Sapphire was 12.
Sapphire was 12 years old. Very young.
A child.
Her mother, Sapphire's mother, Rachel, just so happened to be dating Charles Hosell, who is the uncle of Michael Cummins.
And I believe Charles and Rachel were living with David and Clara, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So we've got David Cummins, 51, Clara Cummins, 44. Those are Michael's mom and dad. Mm-hmm. Then you have Marcia Knuckles. She's 64. Her granddaughter, Sapphire McLaughlin P., who is 12. Then you've got Rachel McLaughlin P., who is 43, who is Sapphire's mother and Marcia's daughter. And Charles Hosell, who's 45. And Rachel and Charles are boyfriend and girlfriend, or dating, or I don't believe they're married.
I don't think so.
So, mom, dad, uncle, uncle's girlfriend, uncle's girlfriend's daughter, and uncle's girlfriend's mom. And then the grandmother, Mary Sue Hosell, who's 79, who survives the attack. She's the only survivor. In one
trailer,
one home, one story home.
I wonder how he did it. How did he, was it rage? Was it a mental illness? A break? Yeah, how do you overpower that
Because listen,
people?
like, people that are younger than us, or even aren't really thinking about this, like when we're saying 79 years old, 64 years old, 43, 45, 44, 51. First of all, my dad is 52. He'll be 53 this year. My mom will be 53 this year. They'll wear your ass out.
Yeah.
Like, these are not like
old,
fragile
yeah.
people. Mm-hmm. Like, that's no joke. That's still like middle age. Like,
yeah,
they're not just laying down.
Yeah.
Really, like the the most fragile ones would be the 79-year-old and the 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, like, I'm not.
And those are the only two that are not related to you, besides the 12-year-old's mom.
Yeah. So, really,
Why?
like, how? But how? Like, with this many people, like, how did he overpower them? That's what I really want to know, like, what was the time of death? Like, were they sleeping?
Mm-hmm. That would make the most sense.
It would. Like, that's the only way.
Yeah. And if it's like late at night or early in the morning and he had been on a bender or he didn't have any mental health resources or.
I thought there was like some report of like, and I don't know if it was an actual diagnosis, but I know I read somewhere like that they thought there could be mild schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious as to how he was able to like get this done with that many people.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a lot of people.
This reminds me of last week's case, Zachary.
And I know we haven't talked about it yet, but these people did not die from gunshot wounds.
Oh yeah, it was a beating.
Literally beat every one of them.
Yeah.
To death, except for the one who survived. Like, this wasn't a gun and it was over and done with.
Yeah, no. That's insane.
So, again, how did he overpower him?
I don't know. But, speaking of Zachary Davis, I looked this up.
From last week?
Yeah. I wanted to know if there was a name for someone who kills their parents. And it's parricide, I believe. It's where you kill a mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, first cousin, or in-law. And it's only about 2% of homicide cases.
So it doesn't count if it's your children?
I don't think so.
Okay. So.
No, I don't think so.
Immediate family besides offspring, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Parricide?
Parricide? I don't know.
Parricide.
It's like homicide, like parent, parricide. I don't know. It's only 2% of all homicide cases. In 2017, and I don't know if these numbers are correct.
This is such a good thing to look up. I'm glad you did.
I know, because I thought it would be really interesting.
I had no idea there was a name for it.
Yeah, no, me neither. In 2017, parricides in total in the U.S. was 15,129. Of those victims, 169 were mothers, 186 were fathers killed by their children. So I'm guessing it's minus 300-ish. The rest are brother, sister, uncle, cousins, first cousins, and in-laws.
I would be interested to know if step-parents count. And I don't think that when it says mothers and fathers, I don't think the step-parents would be included in that.
Yeah.
But I would think that in the nature of the 15,000 plus, step-parents would count.
Yeah.
Because if they're counting in-laws, I would think they would count a step-parent.
I would think so too, because it looks like some people confuse parricides with patricides, because that was the term they used if one murdered their father. So, and a
matricide
would be their mother. So they combined it.
Okay.
So there's more and more research on this, because this was the FBI in 2017.
So according to a study done in 2019, parricide is the rarest type of murder. Mm-hmm. And if over 15,000 happened in 1 year, and it's the rarest type of murder, that's just screaming mental health to me.
Yeah. Well, he was ordered to have a mental health eval and didn't go.
Well, they probably should have done that before they released him.
Yeah, they probably should. Maybe kept him more than, was it?
13 months.
13 months.
I'm just getting my laptop because I swear you might have it in those notes, but I was wanting to look at it. I read something that literally talked about
the number of like wounds on the victims.
Okay. I'll set the scene while you're doing that.
Okay.
So, this is all according to the crime scene investigator. She was great on trial. So I kind of gave you a little bit about their bodies and their positions. She's going to get into like how the bodies were really found. I'm going to get into like their placement and like the odd things that were left around them.
Yeah.
Like the mom and dad being found in a room. Dad's covered up by a comforter. Mom's covered up by an upside down recliner.
Recliners are heavy too.
I know. What am I? Then the grandmother, Marcia, and the granddaughter, Sapphire, in the living room. Marcia was found like in between couches near her oxygen tank with like blood and stuff around her nose. Then Sapphire, trigger warning, this is intense. She was found underneath a love seat, and then under her body was a baseball bat and the barrel of a rifle.
And that was the 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And she was found
undressed.
Not decent.
Right. She had socks on and like a bralette on, but it was partially pulled up. They did later say that there was no evidence of sexual abuse, but the manner in which she was found raised eyebrows.
Yeah, and that's also why I wonder what the time of death was, because if this was at night and there is no sign of sexual
she could
assault,
have been asleep.
She could have just been sleeping.
Yeah.
And that's what she slept in. You know, for a 12-year-old, I feel like that's normal to be in underwear and a sports bra, bralette, or whatever. Right. And they did actually test many of the victims for sexual assault, and none came back with evidence of sexual assault.
Insane. So to the right of the house where Rachel and Charles are found, to paint a little bit of a picture of that, she was actually up against the bedroom door. They couldn't get in the door quickly. She was covered in blood, concentrated around her head, but covered in blood all over. Charles was found in that same room. Shoe prints were found. They were able to get like 5 or 6 of the left footprints around the house, 5 or 6 of the right. Mm-hmm. And
they
those
were all
shoes,
consistent with each other.
Yes, these specific shoes. And they were actually found behind the family washing machine. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Found behind the washing machine.
I wish a ghost would have knocked the washing machine over on me. Would have been nice.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, but I did, so whatever. This is rough. Multiple cuts, scrapes, and bruises to the head, the torso, and the limbs were reported on almost all of the victims. The wounds were made by both blunt and sharp force instruments, such as a bat or a crowbar, and a knife or a hatchet, although the weapons used have not been identified. Many of the victims had more than a dozen cuts on their faces and heads. Death came not from one blow, but repeated hits, the report revealed. The combination of so many injuries was named as the cause of death for each of the 7 victims. Each death was ruled homicide by the medical examiner's office.
Not good.
No. And I remember reading that and being like, how sick. Like, how not one person, not 2, no, it just keeps, and over, like, that is so evil.
And the fact that he commits a crime just as heinous before and after, this is between April 17th, 2019 and May 1st. Like 15 days, and 8 people and 1 other is injured.
Yeah. So, on to they were basically witnesses said they saw him in his car, and they found yet another victim in her home. It was like a neighboring home, not like neighbors, but like, we're a rural area, a little bit ways away, but in her home, Shirley Furley.
Shirley B. Furley.
Shirley B. Furley.
You said you think you'd be friends with her.
No, just her name. Like, I feel like she was like a good freaking time. Her name is Shirley B. Furley.
Shirley B. Furley.
I can only imagine like being friends with her, or like even if she is an older woman, being like, I'm going to yard sales with Shirley B. Furley today.
Yes.
Like, that's what we're doing. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But she was another victim found at her home, 69 years old.
Just 3 days after the mass.
Yes.
murder.
And the reason they were able to connect this was because witnesses spotted him in a vehicle, and based on the vehicle's description and then finding the vehicle, they were able to figure out who the owner of the vehicle was, and it was her. And when they went to check on her, she was found also expired, with the same
Injuries.
wounds, injuries and evidence of same way of dying.
Yeah. So when Michael is picked up, because obviously people around him are dying, he was found in a creek with Shirley Furley's car.
Mm-hmm.
Same car he was spotted driving.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to match those shoe prints that they found at the Cummins trailer home with all the people back to the shoes that were found there and Shirley's house.
Yes. Along with that, the evidence for weapons and other things that were found underneath the body of the 12-year-old Sapphire, the baseball bat and the barrel of a gun, they were able to link and basically match up.
Pretty much solve a murder.
Solve two murders within a mass murder.
Yeah.
Because Shirley Furley and then another victim, James, he went by Jim Dunn. He had been found murdered 10 days?
10 days.
10 days before the mass murder happened. They had not solved this, but the baseball bat and the barrel of the gun were connected to his murder, and I believe they belonged to him.
Yeah.
So that's a murder that actually occurred 10 days before the mass murder.
Right. And Jim was found in an odd way. He lived like out in the sticks. His home was like a little cabin. It didn't have water. It didn't have electricity. He just wanted to be out there.
He's like off the grid.
Off the grid kind of person. And his cabin was burned to the ground. There was a 911 call from a neighboring home saying they heard an explosion. And the person, Jim Dunn, who was there living, couldn't be found. When they did find him, though.
Yeah.
They found his body first. It was between 50 and 75 yards away from the cabin. They found it soon after. It was in a blackberry thicket, and about 20 yards from the body, his head was found.
Yeah. So he had been decapitated.
Yeah.
And again, this was 10 days prior to him slaying his whole family.
There's some sick people in this world. Sickos.
And I'm not placing blame on anyone. I just do want to also note that with people close to him and family that had heard him consistently talk about hurting people, hurting himself, killing people, killing himself, I don't think you're ever in the wrong, because I know it can get weird and you're like, you don't want to make them mad and you don't want to exaggerate or report something that's not true or not going to happen or whatever. But I think this is a prime example. I mean, this wasn't 25 years ago, y'all. This was literally 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's recent.
Mm-hmm.
If people are speaking that way, they need help. And you're only protecting yourself and them by being like, yeah, something's not right. People don't walk around talking like that.
Right.
I don't walk around talking about how I want to, hurt people or kill myself or kill people or burning houses down and assaulting people. Like,
and having a history of it.
Right.
Like,
you're not in the wrong to report that.
And I'm sure you can do it anonymously, or you can go to call 988, which is the suicide prevention hotline, and talk to somebody about what you should do.
Yes.
If you don't know what to do.
Yes. They will help you.
Yeah.
It's just, obviously no one is at fault but Michael Cummins.
Right.
But I think this is a prime example of there were moments and instances that if only further steps were taken, further action was taken, it maybe could have been prevented.
Yeah. Hindsight's 20/20.
For sure. So we should learn from this, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
check on your friends. Check on your family members.
This is terrible.
You know, if you see something, say something.
And if someone says they're not okay, believe them.
Yeah. And it's okay not to be okay.
100%.
I'm not okay a lot of the time.
Right? No.
And that's okay. I mean, that's what life is. Ups and downs.
And sometimes you need more help in a time period than what you might need, 6 months away from then.
Right.
Or 6 months prior to then. But, sometimes just check-ins go a long way. Mm-hmm. And even if someone says they're okay, sometimes you know they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when it's like we have to be our brother or our sister's keeper in that sense of they're not telling me the truth. Like, I can tell they're not okay. Or
how do you deal with that? Like, you personally, if you were dealing with that situation.
Like a loved one?
Like a loved one isn't right, but you don't know how do you help them without, coming off as you're insane or you're doing bad things or whatever?
From a level of, I'm not, because I'm so busy, with my kids, I don't necessarily, you and Taylor and Billy are, I see y'all regularly, Whereas, even my parents or, my best friends, Katie and Keely, I don't see them in person on a regular basis. Or, my brother and sister-in-law. So, I'm big on, if I see a video or, a quote thing or, a post on Facebook that's gone viral that's, inspirational or, or also, hey, it's okay to not be okay, and, I still see you, you're still great.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I try my best to, send those things, share it and send it through Messenger or, send it, tag people in it on Instagram,
Yeah.
And me and my sister-in-law, we share stuff and send stuff to each other constantly. But she has just been pregnant for 2 years in a row, like I was with Jade and Matt.
Oh.
And I know how postpartum works when that happens. It can be gnarly.
Oh,
I mean, very gnarly.
Yeah.
And just then in person, it's I just make sure. I also have softened as far as protecting myself. I'm more vocal about, I've been struggling for a few weeks, and really utilizing friendships and knowing these people are here for me and they trust me. Mm-hmm. And I need to vocalize this because I know I'm not in a good space.
Yeah.
And I think by doing that, it opens conversation of just relatability. Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, we all just feel better because we've just kind of gotten it all off our chest type of thing. But I mean, I know I've told you many times that I'm like, especially like December, January, I was like, I'm depressed, like full blown, like this is bad. Yeah. This is real bad. And just, I think by saying it out loud, it was like, I just need the people that know me and are close to me and care about me to know this is actually going on. Like, I've got it, but I need to tell you so that you know to look for certain things as well. Mm-hmm. And not everyone's going to do that. But I think as a loved one, I just try, if I see something or if I think of someone, I try to reach out, you know? Yeah. Or if I'm like, man, I remember when I was going through this. And I think that they might be like, that might be where they're at right now. Instead of just thinking about it, I send a text or I call them or try to FaceTime them and be like, hey, what's up? Yeah. What have you been up to lately? Because it's just a matter of like, can I make them smile for a minute today? You know, something like that. Yeah. Without asking, like, you don't have to, they're like, oh, are you okay? Yeah. Is everything okay? Yeah. It's just like, no, just talk to them. Be the loved one. Just check in, like, hey, what's up? I haven't talked to you this week. You know, stuff like that.
Good advice. You should have started an advice column.
No.
You wouldn't?
I mean, I feel like I could, but I feel like I've learned so much, you know, really in my late 20s and early 30s that it only shows me how much more I have to learn.
Oh, yeah.
But
maybe later in life.
Maybe later in life, yes. Right now I'm still just learning myself. Because
trial
and error. Yeah. Some stuff you think is going to work is not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
What you meant does not translate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think.
You're wise.
I think just being there for people.
Yeah.
Like showing up for yourself, but also showing up for other people. And it's small things.
Yeah.
It's small things. Just letting people know you see them.
And you love them.
Yeah. It goes a long, long way. Yeah. A very long way.
That would have happened to Michael Cummins, maybe this would not have happened.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are still learning all of this.
This is true.
Like, we're all still, like, barely hitting the nail on the head with mental health in general. So, it's still very foreign territory for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And especially rural Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Also, sunlight.
Sunlight helps.
It helps a lot. Even if you can just go sit outside for 10 minutes. Fresh air, sunlight, no technology.
Yeah.
Does the heart and mind wonders.
I love sitting outside waiting for my dogs to go to the bathroom and just like listening.
Yeah, to the birds
and the leaves. If it's at night or in the early morning, I'll hear my owl, I'll hear birds, I'll hear the rain.
Oh, yes, the rain is so nice. We have a creek by our house.
Oh, so can you hear it?
Oh my God. After it rains like big the next day, I'm just like, I can sit out here I want to record it and like play it to fall asleep too. Oh, it's so nice.
I love it.
So nice. Okay, we had to end it that way because this was so gruesome.
Ugh, that's crazy. It's ongoing. I believe the next trial, I mean, the last trial that I saw the video of was if he was competent to stand trial. And it's so weird. I got to add this really quickly.
Trying to do insanity.
Yeah, they were trying to. He was like this the entire
whole time, back and forth. And he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair. I don't know why, though.
I almost wonder if because they needed him to be restrained.
Yeah. Or it was a look for
the insanity.
The insanity thing.
Yeah. But yeah, he did not stop
rocking
the whole time.
It was weird. It was creepy.
It was very difficult for the family and loved ones of the victims too.
Some of them got kicked out because they just could not. They had an outburst and were asked to leave. I mean, not kicked out, but like.
Some of them were actually removed themselves too because they were
just couldn't.
So. I cannot imagine.
I can't imagine either. Thank God.
I mean, what do you turn to when you're like, I could actually kill this person because they took everything from me?
Check yourself in. Because I don't know how humans handle that emotion.
No.
And what that, even a small portion of that feels like. So, his next court trial date is January of 2024. So we've still got 7 months for them to come up with more stuff. So we might have to do another episode on this.
And this is a death penalty case. So that's one of the main reasons why it is going to take a long time.
Yeah, very seriously.
That requires more time for both the prosecution and defense to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Because the death penalty is a serious thing, obviously.
Yeah.
So they should take time to make sure they get it right on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm just interested to hear more info.
I know.
Anything
Yes.
about the victim, about the killer, about the survivor, about...
I mean, I did the most sleuthing I could do. I could not find.
There's not a lot. I think it's just because it's so recent.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep some things under wraps
because it's
for the trial
and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, when we have any updates, we will obviously enlighten you guys on them.
Do you know what next week's case is? Because my phone is right there. And the production phone is right there. Don't you have it on your phone? Oh, your handy dandy notebook. Your handwriting is so much better than mine. Oh, this one's a good one.
Mm-hmm. They're all good ones.
They're all good ones. But this one's different. Like,
I'm just going to quickly show y'all so we don't ruin it all. These are our notes. Our upcoming cases for like all of season 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Through
it's so funny because we winged it.
We
the
did.
Entire season 1.
We really, y'all, we were deciding cases the day before.
Yeah,
and
like,
day of even, yes. Like on days when you had a crap load of work with radio and stuff, and I was like traveling.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh crap, we gotta record tomorrow. It's the only day.
Okay, we can.
And then like the next morning, it's like,
all these
what case are we doing?
Yeah. Oh god, and then we're just sharing information. So
we're not doing that this time.
No, we've actually got a game plan.
Yeah, go us.
Hopefully that'll make us just even better. So the next case is a Tennessee case, Oppie. It is of Bethany Markowski. She has been missing for a couple of decades.
Long time.
She was picked up, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, because somehow all these cases run together. She was picked up at a mall, I believe. Or she was lost at a mall.
I think you're right.
I think that's what it was. And her mother's still looking for her, so maybe we should reach out to Mom and see if she wants to talk to us. Just to give new light to the case, because it's so old.
Yeah. How old was she?
She was like 8 or 9, maybe 10, maybe at the oldest.
11. Uh-huh. Yeah, Old Hickory Shopping Mall, Jackson, Tennessee. She's been missing since 2001. March of 2001, so over 20 years.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good one. It's
Yeah.
going to be a good episode. I'm looking forward to it, because you never know. Like, people are found in the oddest ways, and if we were able to be a part of that, like, how cool would that be?
Oh my god, I would do this forever.
Yeah.
We'll probably do it forever anyways, but hopefully we can help some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Hopefully. As we get better at it.
Yeah, as we get better. And as we grow, we're getting things together.
That's true. Yeah, we're about to, oh my god, I'm so excited.
Me too.
We have a new, like, was it like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, we're having our next photo shoot for new content and the new, like, kind of like the new look.
Yeah.
We're going to have our new recording space.
We're going to have
really cool.
Yeah. I saw all the pictures. She sent me like 40 pictures of all the stuff she liked at a store.
I was like, we got to get this.
And then some of the stuff you couldn't leave, like, it's really cool.
I was like, I have to buy this stuff because there's only one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I have to get it. No, we're really excited. And I want to say, I talked to Taylor and Billy yesterday about that thing we were talking about doing, because for the finale episode of season 2, in like up in Knoxville, I think we should really actually plan that trip.
Okay, I'm down.
It's gonna be awesome, y'all.
We're gonna travel Tennessee.
Yeah, and we've actually been talking about doing a case traveling to another state for a case and like covering it and covering, like, follow our travel there and all the things. But we need y'all to send us recommendations of like where you think we should go for what case and why.
Yeah.
So feel free to like flood our inbox with things
That would
like
be
that.
amazing. I want to do that.
Yes.
I think that would be
so
cool.
awesome.
And maybe it's just like an episode we throw in every now and again.
Yeah.
Or if it goes well and you want, our listeners want more of it, we'll do more of it.
Mhm.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be awesome. All right.
Give us your criticism, but again, if you're going to be an asshole, be a funny one.
That's our close every time. I kind of like it.
That and don't do meth.
That and don't do meth. I love it.
Check on your friends.
Yeah, check on your friends. 988 if you or someone you know needs help.
Yep.
This is the Expired Podcast.
Bye.
What is it?
Camera A, camera B, audio, tail slate.
Love it.
Thanks for listening to the Expired Podcast. New episodes out every Monday. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can get our podcast wherever you download.